white nationalists. Good evening, all YouTube white nationalists, neocons, white neocons, and even black people too. But this is going to shock white nationalists. This announcement that I'm going to say is going to shock white nationalists. Why? Because I'm going to talk about racism toward white people. And this is irrefutable. Absolutely irrefutable. I dare anybody, white or black, to say that it is not true. And it pertains to basketball. White basketball players are being stereotyped as being inferior, cannot play defense, and really, if they're a superstar, they really are not that good. The code word that is used is called white hope. Larry Bird experienced this. So let me just give you some history. Larry Bird was called the White Hope, and the people who were calling him the White Hope were black folks, to be honest with you. White people were like, damn, we got a white boy that can play basketball. Shit, this is great. We as black people were like, why do you like him? It's like, because he's white, right? Come on, guys. Why do we like Tiger Woods? Why do we like Living Color? We like these guys because, in part, because they are excellent black musicians, excellent black golf players who are getting attention in a white-dominated sport. So how can we as black people criticize white people who saw a white boy whipping black boys in a black-dominated sport? You see the hypocrisy there? This is perfectly. I know that I'm conceding to white nationalists a little bit, and I know some anti-racists are going to be like, you gotta be careful, we're conceding too much to these guys, they're freaking out. Relax. They're right. I mean, Stefan CM is right in this aspect. There are areas, black-dominated areas, where there's racism toward whites. And black-dominated basketball, not at the ownership level, that's whites, but on the player level, which is dominated by blacks, where blacks get most of the recognition, there is racism. Okay, blacks and whites, but some blacks, oh, they got Steve Nash and Dirk, we're not racist. Come on, those guys are the exception. And I'm not talking about, when I'm talking about white basketball players, I'm talking about white American basketball players. Okay, the European basketball players are seen as great scorers. They're not seen as great defenders, because we believe that whites don't have the physical capacity to play defense. And one of the things that my black anti-racists will say, well, they can't blame the black man, the whites are in power. Well, obviously we can then, you know what, we should attribute everything in society that is good to white people because they're in power. Is that how we're going to do this? So you're saying that because they're in power, you're trying to tell me that blacks don't do the same thing when they're making their selection process in the draft? Okay, whites are in power, they represent 80% of the population, but clearly, as we can see, obviously, blacks can be racist toward white players, and my example is Larry Bird. I've always asked myself why Larry Bird was seen as a great white hope. He's the great white hope. I mean, think about it, black anti-racist. Would you like white supremacists to say freaking, because there's going to be one, a black scientist is the great black hope, saying that he's overrated and he's getting all this attention because he's black? Actually, Rush Limbaugh, I'm not going to say he's a white nationalist, but he's a neocon. He made a comment that who's that quarterback? Donovan McNabb is overrated because he's black. So he's the equivalent to some white people saying that he's the black hope. How does that feel? We called him a racist. But when black people said Larry Bird was a great white hope, everyone said, well, we have to understand that, this may be racist. It might be racist. Maybe these whites are overrating this white guy. Let me tell you something. Larry Bird is 5 times better than Kobe Bryant, all right? I'm telling you, as a black person, he would whip Kobe Bryant's ass. Period. Point blank, okay? It's that simple. Kobe Bryant's not even close. Period. I don't care if he can dunk. He can do. Oh, he does all these moves. He can't. It doesn't matter. Larry Bird's a smarter basketball player. Larry Bird's a more fundamentally sound basketball player. And Larry Bird still scored 20, 30 plus points with 5 Hall of Famers. He's not the greatest of all time. I believe Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time. But, see how we still treat Larry Bird, and even white people, oh, well, he's still overrated. He's not like Michael Jordan. He can't jump, or, still an overrated white boy. We still treat white basketball players as, when they're good, we can't, it's like, we, and I'm not just saying black people, I'm saying everybody. We view it as like, maybe he's really not that good. Maybe we're sympathizing with him because he's white and he's not really that good, So, you know what? The racism toward the white basketball players, I find it kind of annoying. I mean, these are things that white nationalists should be talking about. To be frankly, they're talking about dumb shit like, why is there BET? I think that's dumb. Black entertainment television. So you're saying that, it's a black, entertainment is black dominated. Black dominated. No, the White Basketball Alliance is a minority of whites. Yes, they are a minority. Whites in basketball are a minority. A minority of whites who want to improve the imagery of white basketball players. Now, we can bring up the fact, I know some African American black basketball players say, well, they're still racist because, we're not treated the same as the white athlete, in terms of media coverage, certain racial stereotypes. I do not dispute that. Yes, it's still possible for black athletes to have experienced racism as in comparison to their white counterparts. But in terms of being a quality player, in terms of performance, in terms of, just the perception of, contribution in the playing market, white basketball players get dissed. They get dissed. Sure, they get dissed by white people. Black people are there to diss them. I mean, yeah, we got our token, white say, well, yeah, we got Steve Nash, Dirk. I mean, people were saying Steve Nash was overrated and talking a bunch of shit about Steve Nash. I mean, he's no better. I mean, I don't think he's any worse than any other black basketball players out there, so I don't understand that. I think some white, maybe some white, some black, I don't know. But, that Larry Bird thing, the funny thing is when Larry Bird said, we need more white role models, everybody said that was a controversial statement. Why is that a controversial statement? I mean, basketball is black dominated. Okay, we understand the owners are white, but people don't see the white owners. Yeah, they control it, but I'm not talking about that type of domination. I'm talking about the people who get the credit. The coaches don't get the credit, the fucking credit. Once in a while they do. I mean, yeah, they get credit, but I think in general, the players, it's focused on the players, not focused on the coaches like more, say, the NCAA is more focused on coaches, but even there, the players still, I think got getting more of the recognition. So yes, I believe in a white basketball player alliance. If whites would white basketball players right now would form the white basketball players alliance, I would support it. And I don't want to hear anybody tell me that they can't. So have a nice day.